Okay, and we're live. Welcome to the only 6 rules you need to avoid a Facebook ad failure. Can everyone hear me? I've got a yes from James. Hello, James. Gabriella. Nice name. Amit. Happy to be here. Good. I'm happy to be here too, Amit. Hank, Debbie, Tom, Brill. Hank. That's a cool name. We don't get that in Britain. No one's called Hank over here. Cool. I never understand why people actually ask on a webinar, can you hear me? Because surely the people who can't hear me won't hear me to reply. Anyway, so yeah, this is a hopefully highly useful webinar, and we're going to go over 6 rules to avoid a Facebook ad failure. I'm going to have a very quick intro for you about me. If you've never watched anything from me before, you don't really know who I am. I'm Ed Leek. So the intro will be very quick, I promise, and we'll jump straight into the good stuff. So essentially our goal today is, like I said, if this is the first time you've watched anything of mine, I want to make sure you have a great first impression. So I would consider it a failure if I can't help you today, if you don't take some value away from this. So by the time you've finished watching this webinar, you'll be able to advertise your business on Facebook with confidence and greater understanding of what doesn't work and what does, what makes you money. Or at the very least, be on your way to much, much better results. If you stick around to the end, I've got some bonuses. And also I'll be answering your questions. And also if you stick around to the end, I'll send you the slide deck, the presentation today. But otherwise, feel free to take a few notes, of course, if you so wish. So quickly then, who the hell am I? So I'm Ed Leek, 34 years of age. I live in the UK, as you can probably tell from my accent. I know a lot of people on here today are from the States as well, United States and Canada, of course. So I actually built and monetized my first website over 20 years ago when I was about 13 years of age. So I've been doing this internet thing quite a long time. A bit of a nerd in my youth. I founded Midas Media, which is my pay-per-click ad agency, 6.5, 7 years ago now. We've grown the business by 100 to 200%, essentially doubled, if not tripled our growth every year. And at our agency, we manage, millions in dollars, pounds, euros. Don't think we've got any yen, but yeah, essentially millions in ad spend every month. And we've helped companies across the world 10, 20 times their ROI, and even some of them as close as 30 times ROI, which is pretty crazy and very rare. So yeah, essentially, I must be doing something right. Just one more thing. I'm not a bloody guru, so I just want to put that out there because I'm fed up with seeing gurus tout nonsense, and you can trust me, I run a bloody business doing this. We manage millions in ad spend. Literally, the stuff I show you on video, the stuff I share on my Facebook page, Twitter, so on, anything that I do is tactics from real life. Stuff we use day in, day out to help people grow their businesses and sell stuff. Essentially, I wouldn't be in business if I couldn't do this. So I'm not a guru, I'm a bloody business owner. It's as simple as that. I'm also in a bit of a privileged position because we get to see companies of all shapes and sizes across the world in different verticals and industries and niches. So we get to see what's working on Google and Facebook and YouTube and all sorts of different things for many, many different businesses. So it gives us quite an insight. Probably one of the best things about running an agency, can't get my words out, running an agency actually, is that you see so many different people and their businesses. So that's me. Told you it'd be quick. What was that? A couple of minutes? Right. Who is this for? Who is the Avoiding Facebook Ad Failures webinar for? So obviously it's for business owners and entrepreneurs. Do we have many business owners in here? Richie, sorry, I was about to say your surname then. I can't pronounce it. Richie, yes. Sorry. There's another warning as well. I'm crap with pronouncing names. I do apologise. Mine's really easy. ED. Gabriella, yeah. running a business for 6 years like you. Cool. Yeah, loads of people in here. But also this is good for professionals, so marketing professionals. If you want to improve your craft, or if you market your boss's business or whatever it may be, and freelancers doing the same thing. Amit, yeah, freelancing all the way from India. Hello, Amit in India. Cool. Okay, so essentially I've been through our goal today, but by the time you've finished watching, I want you to have the confidence to know what does and doesn't work, but ultimately get better results from your Facebook ads, because there are some rules that you need to adhere to just to make things work. It's very easy to blow money down the pan and wonder what the hell went wrong. And then also you start to think that Facebook ads don't work, which isn't true. So we're going to sort that out today. Also, my assumptions are you already have a decent product that people actually want. So this is definitely not how to create a product. You've got to be, you've got to have a market, a supply and demand for what you have. There's no point trying to sell something that no one ever wants. That's just the reality. That's life in general, not just Facebook ads. That isn't a fault of Facebook. This is certainly not a get-rich-quick nonsense webinar. This is not a silver or a magic bullet. This is a set of rules that will definitely help and improve things, but it does mean you've got to do a little bit of work. It's not a magic bullet. And of course, I can't guarantee that you'll get the same results as I have. You might even do better, quite frankly, but you could do a bit worse. But one thing I'm pretty confident of is you will be better at Facebook ads after the next sort of 35 minutes or so. Your attention, please. Okay, just before we start, put your phone on silent. I'm just checking mine. Close off your social media accounts. Remove your distractions, because let's face it, if you're serious about improving your performance, you owe it to yourself just to close off all your distractions and just, give me your full attention. There's no point being here if you're one hand on your phone, one hand on your, I don't know what else, other phone or tablet. Cup of tea, hand on your cup of tea or coffee is absolutely fine, Jake. You're allowed to drink tea. I don't have one because I'd need to go to the lavatory. So, lol. Yes, thank you, Jake. It might just change your life, hopefully. Right, straight in then. I say straight in, I've been talking for 7 minutes, sorry. Right, we'll crack on. Only 6 rules you need to avoid Facebook ad failure. Rule number 1 is your offer. So the single biggest mistake is not actually having something people want, which I said before. Now, these rules are in no particular order. I would suggest that these 6 rules go hand in hand, quite frankly. So, don't read too much into the fact that this is rule 1. What's a good offer? The right product to the right person at the right time. It's got to be the right price point. That could be free. And the messaging has got to be appropriate for that person. So you've got to remember that when people are on Facebook, they're not walking around with their credit card in hand. So you've got to think, what's in it for me? What is it worth it? Why would I click why would I click my own advert and take myself away from what I was doing on Facebook? That's crucial to remember. What's in it for me? And that's true of Facebook's own delivery as well. A lower click-through rate, and we'll discuss this later on, a lower click-through rate essentially bumps your price up anyway. And, so the Facebook algorithm is essentially, it thinks the same. If you can't get people to click your ad, there's something wrong with it, or the offer's not good enough, or they don't want to, the audience that you've selected isn't interested. So just think, what's in it for me when you create an advert and an offer? And consider a very simple tactic of using state of mind. This is literally taking someone from pain to resolution, a frustration, a fear, an issue, to resolving it. It's in a similar way that got you onto this webinar, essentially. I was talking about Facebook ads not working for your business. So I was calling out to people like yourself. Tanya says, yes, that was me. Well, I hope everyone, Tanya, that's on here. So that was the pain point, wasn't it? It was that my advert was all about Facebook ads aren't working frustratingly, and the resolution was 6 rules to fix that. So that's me in this example. Now, it's all well and good me telling you, well, just use state of mind, the before and after. How do they feel now, and how are you going to make them feel afterwards? But here's some ideas for your advert copy. And not wishing to teach people to suck eggs, but when I say copy, I literally mean the writing, the copywriting. So there are 6 elements to a good offer: the tangible, emotion, the life benefit, as it were, the status, proof, and speed. So tangible is something, getting something. What do they get after they take action? Are you giving away a physical free product, for example? The emotion, well, how do they feel? How does it improve things for them in their life? And status is similar. Does it elevate their status? Does it improve their professional status, their work or life status? Do they look better amongst their peers or their colleagues? And the proof is, similar people to your audience who are getting a benefit. And speed is perhaps one of the stronger emotions in that, get it done quickly, done for you, a template, fill in the blanks kind of thing. Speed is one of, it's particularly in a modern world where we're bombarded with information overload. Speed is something that people are very keen to achieve. As I say, using me as the example, because you've already seen my advert, clicked on it and you are here, thank you. The before state was the poor performing ad. So how can we use those 6 elements for my ad? And you may have seen some of these in the advert itself. So the tangible is that you're going to get 6 rule system. The emotion is that it could lower your anxiety and your frustrations with Facebook ads. Tanya's giving me a whoop whoop. Is that? Oh, you agree? Okay. So I should probably stop reading the comment flow because I'm getting distracted. Sorry. The life is to improve your business, reduce your cost, the burden on your business, which has an impact on your life. Particularly if you're a small business owner like myself, you are very much entwined and integrated with your business. And then you can see the other things. The proof and speed are pretty much the same thing as the tangible. It's a 6 rule system. So the proof is examples and the speed is a template that you can use. So that's a good offer. I also found this on the Tinterweb. I'm not going to run through it all. This is from Digital Marketer. This is another sort of example of their trigger and then action and then the next step. So filling in the blanks for you. So that's rule number 1, the offer. Does that make sense? Aaron says, yep, I think I know why my last ad sucks now. Haha. Is that a happy laugh, Aaron, or crying into a coffee cup laugh? Both right? Okay, brilliant. Okay. Rule number 2, moving on. Like I said, I'll tell you what I do. I'll start reading the chat at the end of each rule. Your call to action, your CTA for short. So what is the one thing you want people to do, essentially? What is the one action you want them to take? If you're not getting clicks on your ad, then your call to action could be failing you. How does someone take action today? So what is a good call to action? Well, it's the solution to the offer. A solution or an offer, but also the solution to the offer. But keep it simple, it's get this, download that, buy whatever, keep your call to action simple to start with, because your offer is where you're using the tangibles and the benefits and the emotions and the speed, etc. So the call to action comes after that and literally says, do this thing. A couple of quick tips. Be human in your copywriting. Don't overthink it. Just be yourself and write it as you'd speak it to someone. That's always a good idea. When you've written an advert, read it out loud or read it to someone you know. And does it feel awkward? If it does, soften it a little bit. Avoid looking like an advert. I'm going to cover this in one of the rules later, actually, so I won't hang around too much on this. Test emojis to add emphasis to words. that does depend on your market. If you're a more mature market, not to generalize and stereotype people, but emojis might not be appropriate. Or if you're in a sensitive market, again, might not be worth using emojis, but for everyone else, you could try it. If it is genuinely time limited, then do sprinkle a sense of urgency, but don't fake it. Don't say there's 24 hours to get the offer, and then the same person sees the advert a week later and the same bloody offer's there with 24 hours to go. It's just crap. It'll burn your bridges long term. Just don't do it. So again, think benefits. What do I get? So here's a quick sort of table of call to action words that you could use. I'm not going to go through these. This is just here to give you some ideas and benefits. Like I say, if you stay to the end, you'll get the slide deck anyway, or you could screenshot it now. So if you're not getting clicks, you probably don't have a good call to action, or it's muddled or not to the point. Jess says, I didn't even know what a call to action was. Well, there you go, Jess. So you don't even have a call to action. So this one rule could improve your advert considerably just by adding in your CTA. So also include and we've tested this quite a bit, include links within your text, particularly if you've written a long advert with a lot of text in it, i.e. a long form ad. If you include your link wherever it may go, early on and at the very end, it does actually, it typically increases the click-through rate from people who expand the ad and view the text. So it's just a very simple tip there for you. So that's pretty straightforward. Rule number 2 is your call to action. So rule number 3, I'm just going to take a slurp of water. A slip of water? That's better. Right. Rule number 3, the right audience. What do I mean by the right audience? Well, a great ad will fail on an average audience. An average ad will work on a great audience. Simply put, if your audience is misaligned or not appropriate or just not right, it doesn't matter how good your offer is, or the call to action or the advert, it won't work. Whereas you can, there's a lot of people that labour the point about copywriting and creative writing, but at the end of the day, if you have a solid audience, you don't have to overthink your copywriting. I'll be honest with you. If you have a good offer and a clear call to action with a good audience, you are 9/10 of the way there. Okay, so the right audience, you've got to understand where your audience are. So are they at the awareness stage? Are they interested, the consideration stage? Or are they existing customers? And this is just understanding where you are in terms of who you're targeting. So I'm not going to, again, labour this slide because hopefully, I should probably ask you, but hopefully most of you understand this sort of concept of cold, warm and hot audiences. Essentially, the more someone sees you and engages with you, the warmer they become to you, and therefore require less convincing to convert, to take your offer. So thinking about that and sort of levels of audience, one big issue I see very often, frequently with customers of mine and our agency is that often people will go for acquisition, i.e. new customers, new sales, before considering retention, so existing customer base and existing audiences, because your existing audiences already know who you are. They've already committed some time, energy, potentially money to you, so do use them first. There's a stat here that I pulled from, I think it was Statistica, but 6 to 7 times more likely to click and engage with your ads on Facebook, your existing audience. So that's pretty potent. That also makes them cheaper because the higher the click-through rate and the higher the relevancy, the lower your cost per click. So it works in your favour. So the low-hanging fruit is to test the water on your existing audience first. Now, if you've got a small audience, then it will be a little test, but page likes is the obvious one. Facebook allows you to create custom audiences based on engagement, so people who have recently engaged with content on your page. Again, low-hanging fruit, friends of people who like your page, if it's appropriate, of course. For a company like ours, it would probably be inappropriate because people who like our page, we're a very specific marketing agency, B2B. Would their friends really engage with our content? Probably not. As I just said, your engaged users, past website visitors, people who have visited you in X days, 30, 15, 100, whatever it may be. And of course, past customers. So there's two things here. You either do or you don't want your existing or past customers to take your offer. If you do, then you can upload, you can create a custom audience and upload all your customers' email lists, and it will create an audience based around those people. And of course, you can track people who've been to your checkout, your converting page, and create an audience of those people too. So like I say, this is the low-hanging fruit. Use that first. So so rule 3 here is audience, use your low-hanging fruit first, and then scale from there. So you've beat me to it, Debbie. I don't have an audience. In fact, if I show you the slide, you've actually preempted the slide. I don't have an audience. A quote by Debbie. So what do you do in this situation? You might be tempted to look at Audience Insights, which is fair enough, a tool that allows you to build audiences. Rich says, what is it? I'm not going to show you it today, Rich. I don't want to go through it because actually, again, you're preempting my slides. If we go to the next slide, it says you might be tempted to look at Audience Insights, but it's complicated, which means it leaves too much room for error. Now, it isn't complicated once you've got the hang of it, but that's the same as anything. Also, recently, Facebook have removed a feature called Audience Affinity. I don't know if it's coming back, but this was a powerful bit of data or metric where if you added certain pages, it would tell you the affinity between them. So the likelihood that someone liking one page will like the other, and so on. And that was probably one of the most powerful features. There are literally essays on this subject which help and hinder, so we're not going to use Audience Insights today. Instead, we're going to Google it. What? Yes, Google for Facebook. So literally, well, this is one of the tactics anyway. So when building a new audience, a very simple thing you can do is literally Google your topic, your product, your industry, and find the top websites that come up in the don't necessarily look at the adverts, but you can look at the adverts, but the organic top 10 listings. Find the top sites, the brands, the people, if that's appropriate to your niche, and then can you target those? Can you put those brands and websites? Can you first find them on Facebook, and then can you add them as targeting in your audiences? So that's the first step. There's also a nifty little tactic called audience layering, which is simply going to I'm using MailChimp here as an example, because hopefully most people know what MailChimp is, but essentially going to your competitors' pages or a product that other people would like if they liked your product, if that makes sense. So going to that page and then finding people who also like other pages or pages liked by this page. So for example, MailChimp likes all these different pages here, and we can literally use MailChimp as the top level audience interest and then layer it with each one of these additional pages. I'll show you very quickly what I mean in a second, but we can also use Facebook search, which is graph search, to find pages liked by people who like MailChimp, and that will show you, it doesn't have to be MailChimp, it can be obviously any page that is appropriate to you. As you can see here, I'm not sure what the second one is, to be honest with you, if we just ignore that, but we've got things like 5-Minute Crafts, Texas Hold'em Poker, AWeber, USA Today. So how do we layer an audience, or what do I mean by audience layering? So here's Facebook Ad Manager with the targeting to include MailChimp to the US and the UK. And it's nearly 900,000 people in this age range who are English. Now, 900,000 people is quite a large audience. So a few years ago, I was of the mindset that you start with a couple 100,000 to 300,000 as an audience and build out from there. But, things change, you learn stuff, and whilst that's still okay, actually, I like to go, now that the Facebook pixel is really quite sophisticated, I like to go much, much tighter. And as you can see in the next slide, layer multiple targeting interests and behaviours on top of another and get right down to sort of like a 10, 20,000, 30,000 at a push sized audience, which is super, super targeted. And essentially what you're doing there is targeting this very tight audience for a small period of time. It might only be a week to get to the result really quickly. So that your offer's right, your call to action right, and so on and so forth is working because you're targeting a very tight audience. And then from there, you break out into a much bigger, broader audience, and you take it step by step. So you go tight and you literally open up. So in the example on screen, MailChimp also matching Aweber and then also USA Today, you could, in a week's time, if you're hitting your target, whatever that may be, you can then take off USA Today and open up this audience again and get your next target. It may be 100 signups or 50 offer purchases, whatever it may be. And then you take off Aweber and you literally open up to MailChimp. And that's because the pixel, the Facebook pixel, which is tracking all this progress and tracking your conversions and so on, learns with time. And the more data you feed it and the more conversions you get and the more offers that are taken, the more it learns. So when you start really tight, it keeps things nice and precise. Let things learn, let the performance come, and then slowly open up as you go. And then two other simple things you can do for audiences is literally sniff your competition. So visit their websites, so you get cookied, and they start retargeting you on Facebook, showing you their adverts. Like their page, of course, and then you can see what stuff they show to their audience. But you can also check their ad targeting. So if you see their adverts, which you might not do if you didn't visit their page or website, and you simply do that by, when you see their advert, clicking on the top right hand side and clicking on why am I seeing this? And it will actually show you the targeting that your competitor is using on you. So in this example I've got on screen, it's showing that this advert has been targeted to me because I'm interested in Google Analytics, which is true, and I'm within the 18 to 55 age range living in the UK. So by doing that, you get to see how your competitors are targeting you. And over time, you can build up a picture. In fact, build up a scrapbook. As you go through this, go through this process and start seeing adverts that you like and adverts from your competitors, I just screenshot them, stick them in a Word doc or a Google Doc, and just put some notes against them, and just over time build up a little scrapbook of good, bad, and competitor adverts, just to keep your finger on the pulse. Essentially, there are tools out there such as Addicted.io and so on that will show you competitor adverts, but there's also the free route of just creating a little scrapbook. So that was rule number 3, your audience. Did that all make sense? I know I'm covering quite a lot quite quickly now. Mainly yeses. If you wait till the end, how do I say your name? Gertrude? If you wait, that'll do. Sorry. If you wait to the end, I will answer your questions. Cool. Okay. Right. Rule number 4, negative audiences. So the opposing side of people you're trying to target, you also want to exclude people who are unlikely to take your offer. So this is something that people often don't talk about, and they should. It's equally important. So let's think about logical exclusions here. So you need to exclude people who have already got your offer. So if you set up a custom conversion in Facebook, say you have a thank you page for the offer, then you want to create an audience for that and exclude it in your targeting. If you're targeting multiple interests in your campaigns, you want to exclude one from the other so you don't have overlap. So going back to my earlier example, we had MailChimp and Aweber and USA Today. We'll say that you had one campaign targeting MailChimp and Aweber, but then you wanted to target USA Today. You wouldn't include MailChimp and Aweber in the USA Today, and you'd exclude the USA Today in your MailChimp and Aweber campaign. I hope that makes sense. That does reduce your audience size, but it just stops overlap. And I'll get into that later because frequency is a bit of a killer. Also, subject and interest bias. What do I mean by that? Well, someone who likes fast food is probably not going to like health food. So let's say that you are, I don't know, Burger King or McDonald's or KFC or whatever. If you're running an offer, you probably want to exclude vegans and vegetarians and people who've shown interest in health food and health products and healthy brands. I mean, it now sounds like common sense when you think about it, but you'd be surprised how many people don't think about it. So that's what exclusion's about. You have to use your sort of common sense a little bit, but think logically around this. There is another way to do it, and that's in Google Analytics. So you can use, on top of demographic and behavior-based negatives that are in Facebook, you can use your demographics, so age, gender, country, region, city, etc. So in your Google Analytics, if you go to your audience, demographics, and age drop-down, and then you can add, I haven't done it here actually on this screenshot, but you can add a secondary dimension of gender. So you then use the comparison tool in the top right-hand corner, highlighted here. And essentially what I'm showing you here is the total number of sessions by age range, and then the e-commerce conversion rate based on the age range. So as we can see here, anyone that's under the age of sort of 45, 44 are converting much lower than those above 45, and particularly much lower than people of 55 and upwards. So you could exclude the younger, if this was your analytics, you could exclude the younger generation to give you a bump in your conversions and your, hitting your goal on Facebook by removing your weaker demographics in analytics. So I love using analytics for this sort of thing. It just, well, if you think about it, you essentially will halve the size of the audience here, but you could double, if not triple, the conversion rate as a result, and you'll probably pay less per conversion as a result too. So yeah, logical exclusions, negative audiences, so people who already got the offer, targets that you're using in other campaigns, subject bias, and of course people who are less likely to convert from your Google Analytics. So negative audience is really key, and that's rule number 4. Okay, there's not a lot of comments going on, so I'm assuming you're listening to me, because not many people... I actually had only one person leave in the past sort of 15 minutes. That's good. That means you're all either asleep or paying attention. Not asleep. Thanks, John. Not asleep. Yeah, Debbie. Furiously writing. Yes, good. I will give you the slides, don't worry. I'll give you the slides. Rule number 5, your images. So, as I alluded to in rule number 2, call to actions and the offer, you don't have to stamp things like free all over your images. And you don't really want to look like an advert. You want to do your best to look like content on Facebook, because people often scroll past adverts as a sort of second nature now, unfortunately. So don't make your advert smack of advert. Anyway, images. So there used to be a 20% max text rule, which meant that you could literally only have 20% text on your image. Facebook has removed this rule. However, I'm highlighting it because there's still an algorithm that deals with text. Essentially, if you can get away with having little or no text on your image, then you will get a faster delivery and you will typically pay less per click. Now, it's normally a very small amount of text has a very minimal impact, but the more text you add, the worse your delivery, the more you pay. So that's very important to remember that. The other thing I want to point out about your images on ads is that they do have a dramatic effect. So I'm going to show you a bad example here, because this is what I would call a crowd pleaser. So your image attracts engagement. The right image will attract clicks, which is what you want, but the wrong image will also attract clicks. Let me show you an example from our own experience. This is my agency, Midas Media. As you can see, this advert is unusual. You can buy anything online, but can you sell it? So this was for a big content piece that we did on e-commerce marketing, essentially. And there's a kitten in a shopping cart, or a shopping trolley, as we'd say in the UK. 11.7% click-through rate. John says that's a whopper. Yes, it is. That's a big click-through rate. That's pretty impressive. However, as a result, we got 173 clicks before we turned it off, which is actually irrelevant. We got them for 6p each. That's what's relevant. That's really, really cheap for a cold click from a cold audience, never seen us before. 6p is mega cheap. It's about 7 cents, I think, or yeah, about that. Same for euros and dollars. However, look how low the engagement on the advert was. So 173 clicks and just a handful of engagements. Worse still, the landing page metrics were atrocious. The bounce rate, I think, was 100%. And this was a multi-page content piece. So the conclusion was, because we found out, when we moved to a less click-happy, crowd-pleasing image, the click-through rate dropped down much, much lower, and the cost went up, unfortunately. But the engagement metrics at the other ends are the time that people spent on the website and they actually browsed around and consumed the content, just went up and up and up. So this image attracted loads of clicks, yay, really cheap, yay, but for all the wrong reasons. So it was crap. So be careful. In fact, I'm going to reverse back up to that slide. Remember, the right image will attract clicks, but so will the wrong one. Don't be a crowd pleaser for the wrong reasons. So how do we test images then? Well, I like to keep 2 to 3 ads per ad set to start with, and that normally means you write one ad and you test 2 or 3 images. So the same advert, but you cycle the images. So you then get to test the image instead of the text. You can also test the same image with text on it or without, text overlay or without text overlay. You can try a little trick. I don't know if you class it as a trick, but what is classed as or what's known as the gender swap. So don't overdo it, but showing female to males and male to females. I just saw a comment in the chat that I'm not going to repeat, John. But yeah, the gender swap is essentially, it's the natural thing. Men are probably more likely to look at an image of a woman and so on and so forth. It is what it is. You can try it. The one thing that's better, pattern breaks and social proof. So a pattern break is essentially changing the form and the feel of an image based on its surroundings. So Facebook's very square. It's top to bottom, grid-like. So if you actually put a diagonal cut or a circle or something, a cylinder shape or something that's rounded or diagonal in the image, that's classed as a pattern break in terms of an image. So you're essentially cutting across a very formulaic arrangement like Facebook, which is grids. So on a desktop, you've got a grid on the left, you've got a grid down the middle, which is your feed, and you've got a grid on your right of options and right-hand side adverts. So yeah, pattern break's good. Social proof is probably the best, and that is things like testimonials and that kind of thing. And I'm going to show you an example, because you might be thinking, well, how the hell do you do that? I'll show you an example. So this is pattern breaking. This is another advert from my agency, and this did really well. So this was for a download of a guide a guide that I wrote personally. It was converting at 58%. 58% over 1,000 conversions, so that's phenomenal. And I believe the cost per goal, I haven't actually put it in my notes, was around about 60 something pence, so about 70 cents. That's really good. And we tried this image, just straight, and a couple of pages just on the horizontal. And literally by moving it to a sort of 20-degree angle or whatever it may be there, the click-through rate literally doubled. It's crazy. So it's because it's a pattern break. So as you're scrolling down your newsfeed, this diagonal piece stands out. And it doubled the click-through rate, which dropped the cost per conversion down. Brilliant. Really simple. So here's an attention-grabbing image, which I have saved from a guy that, I don't know who he is, Larry C. As a good example here, because I thought this was quite interesting to use a bit of provocative wording. And again, a lady looking at the text. I just thought this was quite clever. So it's for a free MIDI course, but he's using a attention-grabbing image, and not necessarily pattern break here, but a bit of humour, depending on your take. So I quite like this image. I thought I'd share that with you. But where's the social proof? The one thing that failed this advert is that there's no engagement, which is really rubbish, because we are creatures of sort of herd mentality, and people do follow one another, sheep-like. When you see, and this has been proven in psychology, it's been proven in tests, but when you see engagement on ads, you're more likely to engage with it, because essentially it's proof, well, other people like it, so there must be something good about it. So on this subject, you might be thinking, well, if I create an advert right now at this minute and time, and I put it live, it's going to have no engagement on it. So what I would suggest is that you create a very quick engagement campaign as well, and for $5, £5, whatever, you don't have to spend a huge amount of money on it, and just fire it to the same advert that you're running for clicks or conversions, and use your page likes, use the people the most warm to you and most likely to engage with your ad, just to give it that initial kick. So you're essentially paying for a bit of vanity, but in the long run, it does help. So that's social proof of one form. Here's social proof of a different form, and this is Yotpo. I really like this, I'll be honest with you. So there's a LinkedIn ad and a Facebook ad here. They're using the same theme across the two platforms, but I really like this idea. I'd give this quite, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. The inclusion of people, star ratings, and, accompanying quote or social proof. The fact is, it's not a real testimonial, but it gives you that feel, that look and feel, and it stopped me from scrolling and interested me, so I thought I'd copy it out here and give you it as an example. So that's kind of a different social proof. The whole, we had the whole engagement social proof, where people are literally engaging with your ad, and then social proof in that you're using testimonials and reviews and so on. Okay, so if you don't have a scrapbook of images and you don't have any tools because you don't want to pay for them, then you could get some image inspiration from Google. Literally using Google's image search. I'm not going to try and explain the way that Google image search works. It's a complicated algorithm, but essentially when you type in a topic or a niche, the images that you're seeing at the top of Google's image search are considered to be more relevant and more engaged with than the ones further down. So you could literally start putting in keywords from your ad copy and finding the kind of images that Google image search considers relevant, and that will help hopefully give you ideas and help get your creative juices flowing. So the other important thing to do is remain on brand. So when you're doing image tests and using images, try and keep and stick to a certain look and feel. Because over time, if you're, unless you're one and done and closing up shop tomorrow, you want people to become familiar with you. So include your brand logo where possible. stick to a certain colour palette, feel and familiarity, so people get to understand what you look like over time. Because the people that do want to consume your stuff, they want your content, they want your offers, they want to buy your things, they will automatically gravitate to your adverts if they recognise them. I mentioned this slightly earlier, but I'm not affiliated with this tool in the slightest. It is one of the cheaper tools on the market. It's quite good. It does have some free examples, but Addicted.io is, I can't remember, I think it's $30 a month or something like that to start with. But it allows you to find viral ads, ads by topic and type, the amount of comments and engagement, video ads, recently published ads, so you can find stuff that your competitors are doing or bigger competitors are doing. Excuse me, just adjusting on my chair, I'm getting a sore bottom. It's a nice little tool. It's not too expensive and it's got a very big archive of ads. So if you literally run out of ideas, Addicted.io is pretty good. I mentioned this earlier. See ads you like, keep a scrapbook, annotate it. It's free, it doesn't hurt, and we're all guilty of it. We're probably on social media far too often. And this goes for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter ads, you name it. If you see an ad that stands out, it makes you want to click it, grab a screenshot, annotate it, and just leave a note of why you liked it. So, rule 5 out the way, images, really important. The last but not least, rule 6 is landing page. So the destination page. When someone clicks your advert, where do they land on your website? What page? So continuity is king when it comes to ad to landing page experience. And what I mean by that is that if your advert is great, your offer is great, you've got your call to action right, you've got your image right, or you're testing some different images and they're working, you're finding a winner and you pause off the losing advert, brilliant. But then if your landing page doesn't look, feel, talk, sound like the advert, you will literally kill your conversion rate. You'll be leaving money on the table. And lower conversions essentially hurt your pocket, they hurt your goal, and they do impact your performance because Facebook is also measuring your goals. And if you have a lower conversion rate, it will impact what you pay. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I mean, most people know this by now, hopefully. Attention's short. People need to be grabbed within sort of 5 to 8 seconds. So that's another thing. If your page doesn't grab someone's attention, to be honest with you, if you get the continuity right, this is less of an issue, but it's still an issue. So make your headline clear, crisp, concise. Make it fit with the advert. Make it look like the advert. What do I mean by that? Let me show you an example. So here's a bad example. Sorry Nutmeg, which is a UK business. This is a great carousel advert. I really liked the advert. Not ignoring the copy. I didn't even read it. I just saw it and thought, this is a cool little carousel. So there's a lovely visual carousel. Great. Click the advert. And what is this? Not only is the headline different to what the advert is showing us, they didn't replicate any of the imagery from the advert. And I don't understand why. So it feels like a completely different experience. So remember, continuity is key. Well, they've got the images wrong. The only thing that flows is the name Nutmeg, really. The text isn't the same. The advert says set a risk level and we'll build you a diverse portfolio and so on. You get to the page and it says smart online general investment portfolio. It's got a picture of a mobile, which doesn't even have the same image on as the advert. So I think this is a missed opportunity because the advert's really visual, simple, clean. If they just put that 1, 2, 3 step under this headline, or instead of the mobile image, I just would have pulled it back in for me. I don't want to labour this one too much. Here's another bad example from people that should know better. Sorry, Nanigans. Nanigans are a very big company. But the reason I don't like this one is because of the image. So look at the difference. The image is completely at odds with the landing page. Completely at odds. Why didn't they include the image on the landing page or include the image of the book on the ad? I reckon, in fact, I would bet that if they tweaked that, they'd increase their conversion rates on this landing page. Because the page itself it's not too bad. Although I would also test having a form on the right, because in the West we read left to right. Yeah, we always put the forms on the right because they seem to convert better. We did try them in the middle at one stage and even floating and all sorts. But yeah, the convention is that forms on the right convert better. But hey ho, we're talking about ads here. So yeah, there's another bad example. What was even worse is this happened. So I tried to leave and they slapped me in the face with a bloody pop-up that wasn't even relevant to the ad. So, oh God, don't be like them. You've probably got a smaller budget than them, so you've got to be more precise than this. Gets better. Another big boy, Adobe this time. So very straightforward, striking advert, special offer. Essentially you get 10 images, search and find your images. Couple of things here that don't quite match up is the headline to the ad, but also the image. Why are they not using the image from the advert in the landing page? Really simple continuity thing. And why not try overlaying the search box on the image as well, just so there's that pure continuity when you get from the ad to the image. Really simple ad, very striking. Landing page, yeah, just continuity. It makes so much difference to conversion rates. Okay, so as I said, attention is short, hence I'm showing you bad examples, slightly better example, and then some more attention-grabbing examples. Like I say, if you want to keep it simple, it's just to replicate the ad copy on the landing page, visually and textually replicate. Keep it simple, keep it uncluttered, remove distractions, just put what was in the ad or very similar on your landing page with similar visuals and you're halfway there. And if you also want to improve things with attention grabbing stuff, then here's two examples that are doing just that. It's a GoPro, really simple and elegant product shot with a simple title and then a moving, obviously you can't see it moving, but a video in the background portraying the product in action. Really simple, really visual, instantly captures your attention. On the right is Nest, which is a thermostat, not a very sexy or exciting product, but they've done a very good job here. The headline's great. It's essentially saying that it's going to pay for itself, but they've made it look sexy. So they've made the product sexy, attractive, but the attention grabber is the ticking sort of energy saved clock, which ticks up and up and up, kilowatts per hour. So there, two different ways of grabbing attention there. Something moving on the page as in a video, or something moving as in a ticker, a timer, whatever that may be. You could even do that with a countdown timer. Again, so long as it's genuine and there is a genuine urgency, or perhaps you've got a countdown timer for shipping, so you can get your offer, within 24 hours or whatever, if you order it by X time. So think about it that way, how to grab attention. However, I can do a lot better than this. We've actually written a big filterable landing page templates, examples, inspiration, design guide. If you Google it, landing page examples, and look for Midas Media, it's called the Complete Landing Page Examples. There's over 60 examples there. And the reason I'm asking you to Google it is that it's on the bottom of the first page roughly, and the more people that Google it and click on it, the more it will help it come up the rankings. So that's why I'm asking you to Google it. A little bit selfish there, but if you want some landing page examples in great detail, all of them are scored out of 100 with pros and cons. This is a great piece. So again, rule 6 is your landing page focused on continuity and congruence. If you want inspiration, jump across to that and you will find loads. Oh, okay. So that's it. 6 rules. Let's just quickly catch your breath and recap before I lose my voice. So the 6 rules to avoid Facebook ad failure are: number 1, your offer, so the right product to the right person with the right message at the right time. Number 2 is the call to action, so the one thing you want people to do, the action they take. Rule 3 is the right audience, so test your message on warm audiences first. Rule number 4, remember your negatives, so exclude those who have or won't take action, so they've already taken action, already converted, and those who are unlikely to. Rule number 5 is your image, so no gimmicks, keep it relevant, and that is true of rule 6. The landing page continuity is the critical part of that. Okay, so that's the 6 rules, but what happens if your performance isn't where you want it to be, or it's tanking? So here are a few quick tips to support the 6 rules. So what happens when it all goes wrong? These are like the cherry on the cake. I can see there's lots of questions coming in. I'm going to answer questions at the end, so I'm just going to rattle through these quick tips for performance for you. Number 1 is my targeting right. So 3 big giveaways that your targeting is off is, number 1 is your click-through rate. So when you're looking at your campaigns and your performance, your click-through rate is below 1%. That's really quite poor. The average in the Western world, at least, is roughly 1.5% or thereabouts. You want to be better than that because you want to be better than average. Relevance score that we've touched on, and I'm going to show you more about that very shortly. You want it to be above 5. Because relevance is essentially saying that Facebook is measuring how relevant your ad is to the audience based on many different data points, but the lower the relevance, the more you pay. And if your engagement is sucky, so if you've got no engagement or it's very low engagement, that tells you that your ad and audience match could be off. So those are the 3 telltale signs. A/B testing, is everyone familiar? Got a few yeses. Split testing, yeah, split testing, variation testing, A/B testing. So here's 3 rules of thumb for A/B tests. So let's assume you've got one campaign, one goal, and one ad set, and you put 2 adverts in there, so you've got your A/B. You've got your A/B test. You might be testing the image. Well, if you're on a small budget, so something like $5 a day, £5 a day, then a very quick test would be to get to 100 clicks or conversions of your goal. Or 500 impressions is a sort of looser target. So that's essentially a very quick A/B test. You set your budget, you let it run, you let it get to your 100 data points, and then you declare a winner after that and optimize from there. So you let it run. Now, if you've got a sort of mid-size budget, probably 5 to 10 times that size, then your goal should be in proportion. So more like 500 clicks or conversions, or 10,000 impressions or more. But again, I prefer the actual goal metrics of clicks and conversions. And then you declare a winner after that. If you've got a big budget, then the rule is that statistical significance becomes more important over time. So the more data points you get, the more statistical significance you get. So 1,000 clicks is a very nice number, or 1,000 conversions is a very, very nice number to achieve to definitely declare a winner. If you've got 2 ads running and you get to 1,000 conversions, you will probably find that one beats the other. So why do we have these simple rules for A/B testing? It's essentially to stop you making too many changes, trying too many things, and declaring a winner too soon. So don't skew things. Set a target, set a budget, let it run, let it hit the target. That's the best way to do a test. Next, big audiences is another problem that I see. Going too wide too soon. We touched on this earlier when we spoke about layering audiences, but if you have a really big audience, for example, we were looking at MailChimp, weren't we? And I think it was something like 900,000 people. Then you typically lower your relevance, you lower the clicks, and you pay more as a result. The only exception to this is when you've got a really solid lookalike. So say you've had 1,000 or 1,500 conversions, then you build a lookalike off those. That's the only time I would consider that to be a not too big but pretty solid audience, because that might be 500,000 if it's US or UK. And I would say that that's an okay starting audience if you've got that seed data to start with. So, of course, quick hint, remember your exclusions and your negatives to narrow. Next problem I see, auto placements. Okay, so yeah, desktop is often the better converter, but it can be more or is more per click. So mobile often wins the CPA battle. What I mean by that is desktop and mobile feeds, because by default, Facebook, the recommendation is that it will optimize for you. Now, in our experience, actually, that's probably too soon and too presumptive, and we like to start off with just desktop or just mobile feeds first. Measure the goals, measure the metrics, get to the point where we want to be, so we hit our 100 goals, let's say, and then expand. So start using Instagram, the audience networks, and so on. Right-hand side ads, we typically use those for retargeting because they're not as cheap as you think, because the impressions on the right-hand side can go quite high, so the frequency can go quite high. So we use right-hand side as normally for very warm audiences that are close to converting. They might have been to the basket and not quite committed. That's how we use those. Okay, and then how should I bid? I hear this question quite a lot. 2 really simple rules here. Let Facebook optimize it for you. As simple as that. If you've set a goal, it does a very good job, quite frankly. Or secondly, if you've got a campaign that's working really well, you're hitting your goals, you're doing your thing, then overbid. Overbid by at least half. I like off numbers that aren't round, so I like things like, if you're going for 25%, I like 27%. If it's 50%, 53%, or whatever it may be. Now, overbidding is because this teaches the algorithm that you're prepared to pay more and you're prepared to pay for the best. If you underbid, you're essentially telling the bid engine, the algorithm, that you only want the crap. The people that are less engaged, the people that are less likely to do your thing because no one else wants to pay for them. So very, very rarely, in fact, I can't remember the last time we underbid on a audience. It's either automatic or overbid. Now, overbid, you, of course, but not necessarily, will pay more per click, but those clicks are typically of a higher quality, a higher standard, so people are more likely to do your thing, and over time that actually does reduce your cost per conversion, cost per goal. So it might seem counterintuitive, but that's just the way it works. You've probably seen this, your performance drops with time. That's because frequency is a killer, and you should watch it like a hawk. So frequency is essentially how many times the same person sees your advert over and over again. Here's a quick image taken from Ad Espresso, and our results are very similar to this, to be honest with you. Once you get to sort of frequency 4 or 5, the click-through rate not only drops significantly, but the cost per click rises at a more, I don't know if exponential is the right word here, but it rises at a higher rate than the click-through rate drop off, if that makes sense. So you stop paying more and more and more as frequency gets higher. Essentially, frequency is telling you people are getting bored of your advert. So the stats are that when someone sees your advert twice, the click-through rate drops by 9%. At the point they see your ad 4 times, the cost per click, that cost per interaction, was 23 and a bit, for all intents and purposes, a quarter higher, 25% higher. So how do we avoid fatigue? We like to set our limits around about 5 on the frequency scale. So once things start hitting 4 to 5, we're looking at them, watching them like a hawk. We set rules in Facebook, which is very simple to do. So once your frequency hits a certain number, you can pause an advert or an ad set or even an entire campaign. Another way to get around it is to refresh your advert. So simply changing an image can work. Tweak of the text, the copy, the headline. Add or remove a question. Remember the offer, positioning. Are you struggling with X? Get Y to achieve so on and so forth, that kind of questioning. So that's how to avoid fatigue, and you do want to watch it, but set up your rules, keep refreshing your adverts, and this becomes less of a problem the more you expand your audience, of course, but you've got to get an audience to work first. So those are a few quick tips on how to avoid further performance issues. And taking breath, I'm noticing that I'm just going to take a swag of my drink. Bear me a second. It's better. Kate's enjoying a cup of tea. Kate, surely that tea will be cold by now. We've been here quite a while. I'm getting lots of comments coming in, which is brilliant. And lots I won't be replying to straight away because I think I've got to go back through. I'm noticing a load of questions around the rules and these tips. So if I don't get to your question, I'm going to answer them very soon. Just send me an email and I'll do my best over the coming week to answer those for you. So learn@edleak.com. Right. What next? I promised if you stuck with me to the end that I'd have a few offers for you, special offers, and these are for your eyes only. I'm not offering these to anyone else anywhere. So firstly, if you're running an online store and you're advertising on Facebook, well, that's why you're on this webinar. I've got a secret sales weapon. I've shown you the 6 rules, and now I'm going to show you how to get sales on autopilot with Pixel Precision for e-commerce. So what is Pixel Precision? It's a mini course that I've done, and it's to show you how to install the Pixel, how to use it correctly, how to season it, set up conversion data, but also how to set up your product catalog and get your products on Facebook and set up the one campaign that every store owner, every online shop owner needs to drive sales on autopilot and in a very short space of time. So that's Pixel Precision in a nutshell. There's also some advanced retargeting tactics for the Facebook Pixel in there as well. This is sort of like a no-brainer course. I mean, if you run a store and you advertise on Facebook, you need this course, honestly. Today, for you, it's a special offer. It's normally $97. It's a one-time payment, 30-day money-back guarantee. It's a great little course, and you can get it special one-time payment, $47, sales on autopilot using the Facebook Pixel. But there's more. That's the little offer. Here's the bigger bonus offer. So this is giving you the Facebook Pixel Precision course, completely free, access to a brand new members-only VIP Facebook group. It's only for people who buy courses off me and work with me on the courses and so forth. I'll be active in the group, answering questions. The whole point of this group is that store owners and e-commerce people can come together, marketers, store owners, so on, ask questions, give feedback, give advice, show their wins, show what's working, what's not working, because you learn way more from failure than you do from success. Just a feedback loop for us all to help each other grow, get better, and I'll be there answering questions and dipping in as well. I'm also completely free each month going to do a roundup, a recording where I answer specific questions in the group and questions that I've received off the back of the courses. So I'll be doing that to just add extra value to the group. I want this to be a really great little Facebook, well, not necessarily little, but a Facebook group that we all use and we find super value in. And then I'm going to give you my flagship course, which is Analytics Secrets that get every sale from AdWords, which is, again, it is for e-commerce people, store owners and marketers. So what is Analytics Secrets for AdWords? As I say, this is my flagship course. It actually helped a guy called Jim who's selling online. He set up a store, and for about a year he struggled to break, a few grand a month. And we took him using this course from $39,000 to 1.1 million, over 1.1 million in just 12 months. And he's now doing around about 200k just over a month, using not all, just some of the tactics from this training course. So it works. It absolutely works. And it's essentially all my expertise and experience distilled into all the best bits from over the years, how to use analytics and AdWords together, and remarketing and a few other bits and pieces. So it's not the basics. It doesn't tell you how to set up AdWords. It's not about that. It's about ditching the theory and me showing you real world examples, hands-on, how to use analytics to extract all this stuff that helps you sell more. And you can literally apply 1 or 2 videos in the next day or two, and you will make your money back. You know, I'll eat my hat if I'll eat my chair. In fact, if you buy this course and you don't make money, tell me and I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a video of me eating my chair. I don't know how that's going to go down, but I might cook it first. It's a Herman Miller. I don't want to. Right, so it's 40 high-definition videos, step-by-step videos, lessons of me showing you how to do these things, you know, building the best advanced segments. If you don't know what they are, I teach you how to set them up, how to use them, why they're so powerful, how to fault find and find issues in your analytics, how to create reports for, you know, quick reports that give you quick rewards. You know, the best thing on the planet, something really quick and simple that will open your eyes and you go, wow. How to mime for sales in your search query data. I mean, doesn't do it justice in one bullet point, but there's so much power in looking into analytics. Go big fish hunting, finding big spenders, what they look like, where they come from, what's their geography, demographic, and, you know, shape and form, and how to target them. Find more of them, increase your average order value, your lifetime value, and then there's trend spotting in the multi-channel funnels and your attribution and your time lag reports and all these clever things that actually can confuse the hell out of people, but I show you how not to be confused and where to look to then do something very positive with that data. And then this retargeting tactics, literally, I know for a fact there's a couple of retargeting tactics in there that will pay for this course 10 times over in the first few weeks if you set them up. Some of the things are really that powerful, and loads more. Like I say, there's 40 videos or so, and I'm going to keep adding and refining this as I go. The same with any of my stuff, really. I just like to keep improving it based on feedback and how people get on. So you get all of that. The Facebook Pixel Precision for e-commerce, the bonus of the Facebook private group, where I'm going to be active, we're all going to be answering questions. I'm going to jump in every month and run through and answer people's questions and help add loads of value where I can. And you get the flagship course, the Analytics Secrets for AdWords as well. And that's just $397. That's an absolute bloody bargain. I'm completely biased, of course, but I will never repeat this price again. This is it. One-time payment, 30-day money-back guarantee. You won't need it. That's how confident I am. I don't want to sound arrogant, but I'm just super confident this is really great material. So that's it. Perfect for... I've just caught the comments again because Rich has said, I've purchased. But Rich, I haven't given you the link to the offer. So, Rich, I'm going to send you an email because have you just paid for the course at full price? Okay, so right, I'll sort that out afterwards. So this is perfect for, well, it's perfect for people who are called Rich. Thank you, Rich. If you sell digital, physical products online, this offer is also great. If you do the marketing for yourself or, you know, your own business, your own store or your boss, this will make you look good for your, you know, this will make you the star performer when it comes to your boss's eyes. It's for people who advertise on Google, of course. If you don't advertise on Google, you're not even interested, never, ever, ever want to advertise on Google, then just take the Pixel Precision offer because that's all you need, the Facebook advertising. I'd be very surprised if you don't want to advertise on Google if you don't, because it's a massive world of shoppers. It's also for people who want to do AdWords, but like I say, it doesn't show you how to do AdWords, but if you're just getting into AdWords, this is how to take that data in analytics to another level. Or for people who just want to be on top of their game, learning the best and the greatest tactics. Perhaps you're a freelancer or a marketing professional and you just want to learn the best tactics. Well, they're here. So choose your weapon for your eyes only. Choose your offer. Pixel Precision, $47, or everything, including Pixel Precision, and the flagship course, the Facebook group, the whole 9 yards, kit and caboodle, whatever you call it, for just $397. And those are the 2 links. Rich, paying attention. Questions. Going to take a drink. Okay, right. Before I lose my voice, let's dive through some questions. So I've got one from Lily, just scrolling back through. When I run split tests, I get loads of ads, but sometimes my best converting one doesn't have any comments and likes. How do I move my comments and likes from one ad to the other? Hey Lily, so each ad set you create creates its own advert essentially. So you need to use an existing post, an existing ad, instead of creating new ads each time. And you do this when you go to your ad manager menu at the top. Then you click on page posts in the top menu, and what you can do is find your post, which is actually an advert, your best performing post. 2 things here. First, publish it to your wall if it's appropriate. So you publish your advert to your wall, so you get organic engagement also. But then the ID at the top of the ad in your page posts dashboard or area of the menu, that ID, you use that when you create your ads in your ad set. So it allows you to, instead of creating an ad, there's a tab when you create an ad set that says use existing ad, or use existing post, sorry. You put that ID in there, and you can do that for every single ad set, and it will always use that single ad or post. And like I say, quick tip, post it to your wall. You also get organic engagement from your ad, and of course people can then see the ad and the engagement building up. Hope that answers the question. Tommy, my ads keep getting disapproved, but there's no text in image. Okay, well, this could be more than just image in the might not be an image issue then, Tommy. Make sure you're not identifying individual audience characteristics in your ad copy, but also make sure your destination page is legal. And by that, I mean you've got contact information, at the very least in the footer, like a trademark or a copyright or a privacy, statement. Definitely have a link to your privacy policy in the footer. That's the single biggest thing that will get your ads disapproved if you send someone to a page that doesn't have a privacy policy. And if you're getting manually vetted, then the person vetting your ad will look for signs of life on your page to make sure you're not a scammer. So they want to make sure you're a real business. So Facebook are very protective of their platform, as they should be. So just make sure you've got your company name, perhaps a contact address or a link to a contact page, and 100% always have a privacy policy link in there as well. That might be a problem. You don't have so you do. Okay, that's probably a problem. If you don't have a privacy, Tommy has just replied, don't have a privacy policy. Google privacy policy templates, Tommy, you'll find loads. Also go and look at Facebook's privacy policy, and you can literally, write a few lines to do with theirs. You could even link to their privacy policy to say that you comply with this, and people taking action on your website are also, adhering to that. Sorry, I just whacked the microphone. Kate, do you find ads perform better at night? Do you mean Facebook ads, Kate? Oh God, you asked this question ages ago. I'm sorry, I can't scroll back up to find your reply to that. I'm going to assume you mean Facebook. So You can actually report on this in your ad manager and your analytics as well, because you can drill down by what's known as day parting. But in Facebook, under the breakdown tab in your ad manager, you can do it by time. So your performance will be different to mine. So to answer your question, we use the default delivery of 24/7. Do we find that ads perform better at night? Not necessarily. It really does depend on what you're selling and to who. So use your own reports in your breakdown tab. And then if you find that that's the case, you want to start scheduling your ads to go out at specific times a day. Again, that's a facility that Facebook now offers. So you can essentially look at your reports, find your sweet spot, and then schedule your ads to go out. Word of warning. If you've got a small audience, you will essentially cap your reach, because not everyone will be on at the times that you are targeting. So just a quick caveat there. Tony bought the course, doubled our sales. Oh, awesome. Tony bought the course, doubled his sales in the first few weeks. It's pure gold, Ed. I'm watching everything you put out now, dude. Thank you, dude. Seriously, that's awesome. In fact, Tony, I'm going to send me an email, because if you've doubled your sales, I'd like to do a little bit of a testimonial with you, or just get you on Skype or something just to discuss, because that's brilliant. I don't know when you bought the course, Tony. I'm trying to think. I can't see your surname, but the course hasn't been live that long. So if you've doubled your sales already, that's pretty awesome. Thank you very much. Rehan, how much time do I need to invest in the course to see results? Okay, so the Pixel, I don't know which course you mean. If you mean both, well, the Pixel Perfection course can be rolled out in literally an hour. The Analytics course is around about 3 hours or so, but take it step by step. So invest an hour or two a week, or whatever pace you feel suits you. I mean, literally take a video or two, focus on those, test them, roll them out, and go there. So just improve your performance in increments. You don't have to do everything at once. Just take it at your own pace. Get inside the Facebook group as well, and make sure you start asking questions in there as you go through the course, because I'll be there to help, and everyone else too. So that'd be good. Nice group sort of feedback. And I can't remember who I said it to, but I'll eat my chair if you don't get some results from just doing even a bit by bit piecemeal. Angelos, hey Ed, great to be here. What would you do with a limited budget if you can't afford too many clicks? Okay, Angelos, it's quite a open-ended question. If your budget limited, if you literally don't have the money to spend, then go for video. The reason being, video is cheap. You keep people on Facebook, so Facebook allowed you to build an audience on Facebook for cheap, for pennies on the dollar per view. And don't be blinded by the fact you can get a penny view. You want views that are 25, 50, 75% and beyond, which you will pay more for. But you can build that audience on Facebook, and then you can remarket to those, a week later or whatever it may be. And in theory, they should be more receptive. So yeah, if you can, start with videos, even if it's just you doing videos about your product or your offer, whatever it may be. Ria has said, I'm signed up, love your videos, can't wait to get started. That's awesome, Ria. Thank you very much. Thank you. James T. You've got a new student, Ed. This is the best. Thank you. Thank you, James. That's awesome. And Debbie as well. Brilliant. That's great. John, not signed it up yet. We sell high-end products, spend around 10k per month on ads, but we're not sure which channel is working because the sales cycle can be very long. Will the analytics secrets help us fix this? 100%. Yeah. I show you multi-channel funnels, time lag, path lengths, attribution models, all sorts of stuff in there that helps you understand how channels work together and your different campaigns work together. So yeah, definitely, John, definitely for you. Laura, what ad placements do you recommend for a newbie? So as I said earlier in the tip tips at the end after the 6 rules, Laura. I don't know if you asked this before we got to that. What's the time on it? Anyway, if you're just starting out, Laura, pick mobile feeds. They're typically cheaper than desktop, and they've got, you've got a bigger audience on mobile feeds. And to be honest, there's less nuances than other options. Mobile ads are pretty straightforward. So keep it simple to start. I am really close to losing my voice now, folks. David, I've been using Google and Facebook ads for a few years now. I feel like I've got the measure of it. Is your course for me? Well, yeah, 2 things. Not being no disrespect, but you're here today, so you're obviously still thinking that you can learn more, which is great because we can all always learn more. So I'd say 100%. In fact, you're in the same boat as one of my other students, who he runs two stores, 2 shops. He's been doing it for years, making good money. Within hours of purchasing the course, he literally said it opened his eyes to the opportunities. So yes, 100%, you can definitely learn something from this. And remember, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so the risk is all on me. I hope that answers your question. And Neil says, I need approval from my boss, but I don't want to miss the offer. Okay, no, that's fine, Neil. If you're worried about missing the offer, just send me a quick email, learn@edleak.com, and just put in the subject something like extend offer, and we'll sort something out. If you need to get approval from your boss, then not a problem at all. I'd rather have you on the course than you miss out. Just take another drink. Bear me a second. Oh, my voice is really about to go. Sam has asked, how advanced is the course? I'm pretty new to online advertising. Okay, Sam, so the Facebook Pixel Perfection course is pretty easy. In fact, I'd say it's very easy. I hired a junior member of staff and I gave them the course and they went through it pretty much flawlessly. So they had no experience really of the contents. So yeah, you'll be fine. Now, because it's step by step. So the Analytics Secrets course is, of course, that's more in depth. It's a bigger course, but I show you step by step how to do things. Literally take you through on the screen, navigation around analytics and everything. So I suggest that I take intermediate and advanced subjects and just make them achievable for everyone. In fact, I'd like to think that I make them more simple than they would be if you were trying to research and do them on your own. And Dave, how long until I start making money? Smiley face. Dave, as soon as you put the material to work, you'll make money. Action. Take action, my friend, and you will make money. Smiley face. And another Dave, I'm in. Is that the same Dave? I don't know. Well, no, it can't be, because that's after Dave. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you, Dave. Dave 2? Maria, is this lifetime access? Yeah, see, this is an earlier question. Yeah, this is absolutely. You get lifetime access and free updates when I add them. This is essentially, I see this as just the start of a journey, and I can only see it getting better and better as we head along and go along this journey together. I care a lot about what I do and the results that you guys get. I'm a business owner myself, and it's all about the results. So this is a journey. I want you to look back in a year and go, that was phenomenal. Thank you so much. Wouldn't miss it for the world kind of situation, quite frankly. And that's not an ego thing. That's just would please me immensely. I like to see people succeed, quite frankly. Same for my staff, same for my clients, and same for people that are with me on this journey. I'm going to finish off on 2 more questions. JR, best metric that isn't a conversion. Okay, JR. Well, it depends on what you're doing, but frequency is pretty high up on the list of best metrics because it's it negatively impacts your advertising. You know, it impacts so many things: your cost, your clicks, your conversions. So I'd have to say that frequency creeping up is a very important metric to watch. And I've got Russell Mathias, is that right? Both signed up. Brilliant. That's great to hear. Thank you. Great to have you on board, Russell, Mathias, and everyone else as well. So, okay, I think we'll call it a day there, because otherwise we're going to eclipse the 2 hour mark and my voice is literally going to vanish. So thank you for spending your time with me today. It's been great. I'm incredibly excited to see you all on the other side and get started. And yeah, keep an eye out for your emails, because I'll send you the links to the offers, and I'll send you the slides to the webinar today. So keep an eye on your email. Everything will be delivered there. Big thank you again. And I'm going to go and have a lie down. Thank you.